Hello and welcome to another episode of the SME Focus Show brought to you by FactoryNOW TV. I'm your host, Chris Greenough, and in this series we focus on SMEs within the British manufacturing sector and indeed those supporting the sector. I've worked in the sector for over 27 years and I'm CCO at SDE Technology, one of the leading manufacturers of pressings and assemblies in the UK. So hopefully you can appreciate this show is very much for manufacturers, by manufacturers. Joining me today, my guest, and he's back for his third appearance. That shows how resilient this guy is and how he changes to meet the market. He featured in show 24, 68, and now on this show I've got William Santos, who is International Sales Manager at ABI Electronics. Hello, William, and welcome. And third time on the show. This is a record.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks for having me again. It's great to be back on the show. And I think we last spoke in January. A lot obviously has happened since last time I was on the show. Yeah, who would have thought that we'd be approaching the end of 2022, having gone through 2 or 3 prime ministers. But we're still here, we're still obviously facing lots of challenges, but overcoming those challenges and growing the business, which is great.
Absolutely. So remind us about ABI Electronics and what you do.
Yeah, so ABI, for those who don't know us yet, we started in 1983. We focus on designing and manufacturing specialist systems which are used in the maintenance and repair of industrial electronic circuit boards. So circuit boards obviously drive most of the world around us. Circuit boards like this one here. I have in my hand. I hope people at home will be able to see. Yep. So these circuit boards are designed to last many years, but sometimes the components in them, they degrade, they break down. And we here at ABI, we are big repair enablers. So we produce state-of-the-art technologies that allow technicians and engineers to know exactly which component failed and replace only that component on the board, saving a circuit board that could be worth £3,000, £10,000, even more, depending on the application. So systems technologies for troubleshooting, for repair, for reverse engineering, and obviously we also provide the training and the certification for that application for the use of our systems.
Fantastic. And you've been key in the Repair Don't Waste project. Tell us about that.
Yes. The Repair Don't Waste started as a hashtag in 2015 and then eventually became a community and turned into a movement. It's a great initiative started by ABI with a focus to where we basically focus on drawing the attention from business leaders to the benefits of investing in repair rather than replacing or replacements of circuit boards. Obviously, we believe that there's a lot of value and not just the from the environmental perspective, but also from a financial perspective in investing in training for repair. So Repair Don't Waste is a global movement. It has had the support from some of the biggest companies in the world, from all different sectors, from aerospace, energy, automotive, manufacturing, avionics, and so on.
Absolutely. And you've now got a dedicated website for Repair Don't Waste. How do people get involved in the website with ABI just to get more information?
Yes, because obviously the movement is growing. This year in February, we launched repairdontwaste.com. So I would like to invite everyone in the audience to log on to the website repairdontwaste.com, where they'll be able to learn about the benefits of investing in repair of circuit boards, mostly industrial circuit boards. There's a lot of I think there's a lot of emphasis put on consumer electronics. We are perhaps the only organization, the only movement focusing more on the industrial side of things, of the electronics industry. So they can come on the website. They'll be able to learn about the equipment required in order to set up an in-house repair facility, repair lab. So the equipment, the training that is available, what are the standards that they need to look into implementing as well, and very important case studies. So we have lots of case studies that we have published on the website as well, and those case studies basically back everything up, back up the some of the statistics, the arguments that we make, and why we are so passionate about getting as many organizations as possible repairing rather than just using and throwing away circuit boards.
Absolutely. And you said about the training. So I know that ABI yourself have done a lot in YouTube videos, lots of social media content, and that's really helping drive the repair don't waste go forward, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yes, we are passionate about training our customers, training those organizations that are embracing the movement. We want to make sure that they will be using our systems to the best of their abilities, and obviously producing the great results that we talk about in the case studies. So we have the likes of GE Renewable, for instance, a big wind turbine organization that up until 2018 were not repairing anything. And then by us initially approaching them in Brazil in 2018, we started a pilot scheme where they obviously invest in our systems, in our training. They started repairing some of the circuit boards from wind turbines, and this saved them a lot of money. And then I'm proud to obviously say that after 4 years, we have rolled that project out to 8 locations, so 8 countries around the world. So there's obviously a huge a value to be created from embracing repair by reducing the need of spare parts, which are in many cases made on the other side of the world, and they are affected by shortages. Obviously, everyone knows about the electronic components shortage and delays. Obviously the shortages are causing delays. The same, wind turbine company, they face a situation where in one of the locations they ran out of spare parts, and the original manufacturer quoted 9 months to get more spare parts over to them. But they had a room full of circuit boards that had been removed from the wind turbines, faulty circuit boards. So they transferred that batch of faulty circuit boards to one of the locations where they already had their systems. And all those circuit boards got repaired within a week, right? And shipped back. And then obviously they had spare parts for the entire year. So these are just one case, one story that I can talk about. But obviously there are many in defense. We just had the UK Ministry of Defense coming here to ABI for training, for certification last week. And there are many sustainability projects that we are now starting with the UK Ministry of Defense. The same goes to avionics, aerospace. We're doing a lot in aerospace, the aviation industry, with obviously the aviation resuming following the pandemic. Organizations are trying to save money, reduce their carbon footprints, and the repair of electronic circuit boards, which are vital for all these industries to operate, is a great way to reduce costs by the millions and reduce their carbon footprint as well.
Absolutely. And as you said, sustainability, reducing carbon is now firmly on the agenda for UK business and all worldwide businesses. So what more can government do to encourage repair, reuse?
Well, I think there needs to be a realization, from the government that we need to encourage the industry to reduce its needs of reduce the need for for more of the same, right? So we have been speaking to business leaders, and I think a lot of them agree that we can't continue to do business as we have. Have done so in the recent decades. So we're big advocates of design for repair, for instance, but we also big advocates of training for repair. I think there's not just a need for designing automation equipment, new technologies that can be repaired, but we need to ensure that there will be people available and trained with the right skill set for repair. So I think, if we look into circular economy, so if we look into ensuring that the products, the processes will require the least amount of natural resources possible, I think that's a great thing. And perhaps the government could look into bringing some sort of a credit, repair credit. So something where organizations could have a tax rebate for demonstrating that they are repairing rather than throwing away. I think there should be legislation looking into making scrapping technologies or parts like circuit boards expensive. I think there needs to be a process of licensing. So you need to have required a certificate, a license in order to scrap it. You need to demonstrate that you have done everything possible to save that circuit board. There are many myths, many lies that have been spread across the industry by equipment manufacturers that circuit boards cannot be repaired. For instance, they need to just be thrown away. Going back to the circuit board, here you have a program component on this board. This device here has a software in it, and a lot of original manufacturers would come and say, unless you have this special software, you can't troubleshoot the circuit board. Therefore, if this is faulty, you need to throw it away. But that's a lie. And we have the technology, we have the training, can back it up, and we have obviously the case studies that go align with those arguments. So I think definitely we need to get education on board as well. A lot is discussed in terms of sustainability and driving the industry to a less wasteful future. But we are not seeing education paying attention. We're not seeing, with the movement that we created with the repair don't waste, we're seeing companies from all over the world coming in and joining us and agreeing with our statements. But we're not seeing education, knocking on our door and saying, how can we implement this? How can we implement this concept in our courses? I think we're failing to attract and train more engineers in this country, and that's something that the government can definitely help. With regards to the training of engineers in this country, I think we're not paying attention to the needs, the requirements that the industry has now and will continue to have going forward with the energy transition and so on. So yeah, the government, I think there are multiple parts that the government, multiple roles that the government can play, not just encouraging the industry to design more sustainable products, but ensuring that there is money, there are resources being used in training the people who will be making the most out of the new assets that are coming through with the production line.
Absolutely. Willian, great to speak to you again. So tell me about 2023 for ABI. Obviously, 2023, you'll be coming back on the show with either a new product, new development, as you do every year. Fantastic to hear what you do. Tell me about next year for ABI. Well,
we're turning 40 next year. So we're looking into bringing some exciting...
You or the
company? Sorry, the company. Yes. Well, I turned 40 this year, but yeah, the company's turning 40 next year. So obviously, the plan is to continue to engage with more organizations. I mentioned about education. We're looking to reaching out to education organizations in 2023. And looking to increasing our international market. We obviously, ABI, we design and manufacture all the products here in the UK, but we export all over the world. We have closed, incredible contracts, very high-level projects this year with international organizations. So we're looking to expanding into that. If I may, Chris, I think it's important to talk about, some of the opportunities that are available to, British companies internationally. We're going through a process of, there's a bit of a crisis going on at the moment, and uncertainty certainly in terms of how the economy is going to perform in the next few months. And I would like to really encourage British organizations to look into exporting. The Department for International Trade is a great place to start. ABI and the Department of International Trade, we're working hand in hand, and this partnership has resulted in a number of incredible projects that we have closed in the last maybe 4 or 5 years, which would not be available to ABI if it wasn't for the engagement of DIT, and they're there to support all of us, all of our all the SME and manufacturers, all the British companies as a whole, to export more. I'm proud to be an export champion, appointed by ABI. Has been appointed by the IT as an export champion 4 or 5 years ago, and we continue to be part of a community of advocates, export advocates. Next Monday, I'm going to be attending the country's first export champion advisory group meeting in Birmingham, and we're going to be discussing how can we encourage more British companies to export and help the country reach the £1 trillion target that the government has set. So it's we're passionate about two things here at ABI: electronics repair and encouraging and empowering repair. But we're equally excited about export, and that's something that we're going to be continuing to do in 2023.
Fantastic, Willian. Your energy is infectious. An export champion indeed, a social media champion. We'll catch up soon, and good luck for 2023.
Thank you very much, Grace. Thank you again for bringing me on the show, and good luck, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Willian. That brings us to the end of another show. I look forward to meeting more of our brilliant SME manufacturers. Willian is a star of the UK manufacturing sector and really helping SMEs export, which is what this show is about. Either exporting, job creation, innovation. It's fantastic to speak to him again. That brings us to the end of another show. If you would like to get in touch with a comment, a suggestion, or even to appear on a future episode, please email us tv@mtd.media. That's it. That's another Saturday show done. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. So from me, Chris G at SDE, goodbye.